Since we've been talking about Dr. Umar's scams and shenanigans once again, make sure you guys watch part 1 and part 2 if you didn't watch it yet. I'm going to link it down below. I thought it was the perfect time to shed light and give attention and praise to the man that Dr. Umar thinks he is and truly does want to be, King Randall.
My name is King Randall. I'm the founder of the X for Boys program in the Life Preparatory School for Boys in Albany, Georgia. 23 years old. I started this program when I was 19 years old. This school that I own is a all boys boarding school. It's completely free of charge. We don't charge any tuition. So that includes haircuts, uniforms, everything you could possibly imagine in regards to having a school. But we don't charge parents anything. And we teach children the skill trades, how to work on cars, houses, general contracting, general automotive repair, and many different other things, firearms training, how to be a man, etc. But that's kind of a brief idea of who I am and what I do.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
What up, everybody? I am the Mademoiselle, and this is my channel. Welcome to another video. As you guys can tell by the title as well as the intro, we're going to be talking about King Randall, especially as it pertains to Dr. Umar and who Dr. Umar truly wants to be, because I think that this man truly does deserve his flowers, deserves more attention, and does deserve your donations. I recently posted my part 2 about Dr. Umar and why he will never open that school. And I ended up stumbling upon King Randall. Now, if you guys do not know who he is, he's from Georgia, and he basically did what Dr. Umar has said he's been wanting to do for years. He opened a black school for black boys, and he did it with limited funds.
So as these teachers demand billions of dollars to run their school, my next guest, at just 22 years old, has been finding his own resources and donations in order to open a charter school for young black men in Atlanta. Just taking the power away from government, even though the government tried to shut you down. You had the superintendent down there in Atlanta that tried to get his cronies to shut you down. You have the power to go directly to the kids, have the parents to go directly to the kids through your school. Talk about it.
Absolutely. Well, Lawrence, I've been working with children for the past 3 years. And when I began working with the children, seeing them not be able to read, seeing them not be able to write, I became alarmed.
How are you able to fund the books or fund the education or the tools? And because you're doing a lot of stuff, but we know like stuff costs money. You know, do you have donors, or do you just, got the bag already? Or, if just for the viewers who may be interested.
Sure. Yeah. All of our funds come from donors. We're completely donor funded. So if you see me posting on social media or anything, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, we're advertising everywhere all the time for donors. We have an email list of people who, donate to our Amazon wish list, our Walmart wish list, etc. People donate to our program as much as possible. Even cryptocurrency people donate to our program. So that's kind of how we fund everything. And, we're blessed to be able to fund our operations just off of donors. Does it get a little crunch time sometime? Absolutely. It gets a little tough. Sometimes we have slow months and sometimes we have bigger months, but that's just the name of the game. We got to keep pushing regardless.
Aside from that, we have our fundraiser still going. Our program is still completely no government funds, no government grants. It's completely people funded. Everything that y'all see, our full-time staff, the vans we have, the new electrical panels, the flooring, the ceiling tile, you all funded it all. And we appreciate all the support that you've been giving over the past 6.5 years. We've been running this whole time. I mean, we even ran out of my grandmama's house at one point. But I appreciate y'all so much. Please look at the link in my bio to continue giving to the X for Boys program. Thank y'all so much.
One of the reasons I really wanted to cover this is because I know a lot of you guys did not watch my entire video, which shame on you. You must not fuck with me. That's fine. But in that video, we did cover King Randall, and I found his story so inspiring. But most importantly, I found it crazy that he was able to accomplish what Dr. Umar claims he wants to accomplish, was scammed by Dr. Umar, and then Dr. Umar be out here trying to say that he was the inspiration or the blueprint or trying to basically take credit for the boys' work. And that's not okay. I also find it crazy that a lot of us like to normalize and honestly put bullshit on a pedestal. Meanwhile, there's plenty of people out here doing the work, okay? It's just unfortunate that a lot of these people do not get that much attention. This man should be on every major platform the way Dr. Umar is. He actually is doing something, he has the proof, he posts receipts, and everything in between.
I've always been, very transparent about that. If we've asked for paint, I showed y'all the paint. If we've asked for new toilets or something, I showed y'all us buying the toilets. I showed everything that you guys have given. We have an Amazon wish list. We don't just ask for monetary donations. We ask for people to buy specific things. If we've asked for laptops, I've shared it. If we asked to get the kids haircuts, I've shared it. Our program has remained free, so we are still tuition free in our program like we have been for the past 6.5 years. I just think if Dr. Umar would have started something like with what he had, I think people would have been more apt to give him, and I honestly think he would have gotten where he needed to be had he had proof of concept, because he's a great orator. He talks very well. If I could talk that great, I'm sure we'd have millions of dollars raised. But I still started with something. I started out of my house originally. I started in my dining room at 19. And after listening to him, that's why I started it. I just wanted to start something. I knew that I couldn't start something mass scale, so I'm just like, I'm going to start with whatever I got. And we started with $0. I was cutting hair, fixing cars, painting houses. I mean, that's what I was doing to support the program originally. And then I learned how to utilize social media to be able to raise money. And we started doing that. And we went project by project. We failed, we succeeded, etc. But I've always continued sharing what it is that we're doing.
And the fact that a lot of people sit here and they put Dr. Umar on a pedestal and he has absolutely nothing to show for the money he's been collecting for decades is just absolutely disgusting. This entire situation pisses me off to no end, because people would rather blindly devote an idea and a scam than actually sit there and do the work of looking up exactly what they're giving their money to. Dr. Umar has literally been collecting money for well over a decade, almost 2 decades, and has zero to show for it.
Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy is a school that I conceived of a very long time ago, but began to actually put teeth into the creation of that school a couple of years ago. $700,000, and the status is we're still looking for a school, and the status is my start date for FDMG will be 8/21/18. Or if at all, it may be delayed to 8/21/19, which is the anniversary of the Nat Turner War.
We say, look, school coming. We got 6 months, y'all. This is crunch time. This is crunch time. We got 6 months. This is crunch time. Crunch time. Watch when we up. Watch when we get that certificate of occupancy. It's going to be crazy. Somebody asked, when is the school opening? That's a silly question. And the reason that's a silly question is because we still have to raise more money for the repairs and the restoration. How are we going to talk about an opening date when we don't even have our certificate of occupancy yet? How are we going to talk about an opening date? We don't even have our certificate of occupancy yet. Y'all need to think a little bit before y'all start asking these questions.
The first school in American history, built exclusively with the African dollar, will be ready and will be open this Kwanzaa of 2023. And brothers and sisters, this will be a community grand opening, so I want all of you to come on down to Wilmington, Delaware, and celebrate. And what we did as African people by ourselves. We have to stop depending on white handouts.
In honor of Frederick Douglass, today, brothers and sisters, Black History Month 2023, we just made history. The board covers on the windows are off, brothers and sisters. We have taken the boards off your windows. It's not a good Garvey day. It's a great Garvey day. Who ready to see the windows? Who ready to see the FDMG windows? Because the haters said we didn't have the windows. We've always had windows. Every window had glass windows. We just kept them protected until it was time to open up the school, brothers and sisters. Tap in. Who want to go live with the Prince? We at FDMG. We getting ready for the grand opening. 2024 is the year FDMG. 2024 is the year FDMG. First day of the Pan-African fast. I'm giving all the food to God today.
When are you going to be opening the doors where students can start?
Well, we got to get a certificate of occupancy. I can't answer that. You feel me? See, it's always something holding me. If we had it right now, I'm confident we can start August, not this year because you only got a few months, but of 2027. You feel me? But the question becomes, here we go again. We're completely done. How long before you give us our paper so we can start planning for the children? I can't answer that.
Meanwhile, you have people that have opened schools time and time again throughout the past century with little to no funds.
This Black woman opened her own school with only $5,000. Marva Collins worked within the Chicago school system for 14 years. She concluded that the system was broken and didn't help the students excel. So Collins took $5,000 of her own money and opened the Westside Preparatory School in Chicago. She believed that no one should rule any child out of the educational picture. She stressed the idea of using education to better the lives of her people. She was dedicated to educating the children of Chicago. After only a year of opening her school, her students' test scores were significantly higher than they tested the year prior.
So this whole idea of, oh, well, you need extra money, you need this, you need that, is just complete and utter bullshit. And I need people to understand that. Not only did I want to shed light and give some attention to King Randall, I also wanted to have this conversation about grifters and scammers in our community and how easy it is to get away with shit when you speak well. A lot of people like to talk about clout and pretty privilege and all these other things that give certain people the upper hand, but a lot of people don't understand how much you can get away with if you speak very well. Mind you, I'm not exempt from this. I'm not the prettiest girl in the world, but I do definitely benefit from pretty privilege. I get a lot of things just from smiling and standing there and looking pretty. I have a broadcast journalism and a public relations degree. I speak very well. A majority of my videos are done in one shot, and I know how to put things together to convey a certain type of message or get or solicit a certain type of response. Speaking well will get you very, very far. Which sidebar, that's why I never understand why people try to like downplay the idea that a lot of these kids cannot read, write, tell time, etc. Because being articulate, being able to handle yourself, okay, being able to speak well will get you very, very far. Look at Dr. Umar, the scammer. Imagine what he would do, okay? Imagine what he could do if he actually had good intentions. Of course, just like last time, trigger warning, okay? There's a lot of things that he says that will genuinely offend a lot of people. Also understand that I understand, okay? Especially because I'm educated, this man sounds like a fucking lunatic. However, for a lot of people who are uneducated, unaware, and have not seen anybody speak as charismatic as Dr. Umar, this is actually good to them, right? This is somebody that is standing up for Black people, standing up for Blackness, etc. However, those of us who already know. Again, please go watch part 1 and 2 of my breakdown of Dr. Umar. But all of this to say, like, it's actually kind of crazy because there's a complete difference from the way he and a real Black person trying to make change speaks, King Randall and many other, educated Black people speak. Like, even though he is educated, yes, we know. Again, I talked all about the whole dissertation and him having a doctorate and everything. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's not a real doctor, whatever. I found the dissertation, therefore, hey, I'm just going to continue to call him a doctor until I believe otherwise or see things that tell me that he is not. But in a general sense, it's very interesting because it's like, I realize watching this right now, right? I realize doing all of this that, yeah, this is exactly why I never trusted him. The way he speaks is just weird. It angers my spirit. I don't like hatred being spewed, no matter what your personal beliefs are. It's one thing to have an unpopular opinion and offend people, and another thing to be blatantly homophobic, racist, etc., and everything else down the list just to prove a point and spread your beliefs. But completely aware that he sounds insanely ignorant and that the rhetoric is very disturbing to some. What I also find interesting, especially with people who speak like this and believe like this, is they sit there like the white man this, the white man's education, etc. But these niggas got bachelor's, master's, and doctorates. So what are we actually talking about here? Y'all keep talking about white man education, but you have a white man doctorate, a white man master's, a white man. We need to pick a problem. If we're going to sit there and be like, oh, I rebuke the white man in the name of Jesus Christ, then we need to just, I personally, I never thought that way. I think it's ignorant. I think it's problematic, especially as someone that is supposed to have a high intellectual value. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yes, let's move on.
Whenever you want to miseducate a population, special education becomes the direct route. And there's no population in America that is as marginalized as the Black boy or the Black male. And in fact, in my position, there are basically 5 stages of extermination that this society has developed to deal effectively with Black men. The first stage is miseducation, the school itself. Without miseducation, there's no such thing as jail.
The white man of today is exactly the same as the white man of yesterday. You say there's a few exceptions to the rule, but can I ask you a question? There might be a few snakes who don't bite, but who's going into the snake pit to find them? Because if you're an integrationist and you believe coexistence with white folks is the way to go, in your mind, you're a winner. Sure. You understand? Sure. But see, I understand that white people don't share power because historically you cannot point to any period in the history of humanity where white people have shared power with Black people on equitable terms. If you're going to coexist with Caucasians, you're going to coexist as a second-class citizen. A crisis of Black men, able-bodied, well-placed, economically secure, well-educated Black men who are choosing to marry outside of the Black community as opposed to stick to their sisters, only 1 out of 4 of which will ever get married in their lifetime. It is a crisis, which is giving our children an absence of good Black male-female heterosexual relationships that they can pattern themselves after.
When I look back on this, we almost done now because we had to hire white people. After waiting 4 years on Black people, I decided to start hiring whites. And guess what?
they did in 1 year what the black people couldn't do in 5.
Dr. Umar, my brother loves white women. How can I redeem him? Don't redeem him. Release him to the bunny brigade. Don't save the snow bunny lover.
Absolutely not, because if that were true, why do I get so many requests for help from white parents?
Right.
Why do I get so many requests for help from Asian parents, Arab parents? They don't have a problem texting my phone saying, hey, can I pay this consultation? I need you to look at my child's psychological evaluation. I never get apprehension from white parents when they need my help on special education or mental health cases. You see what I'm saying? So if it were that bad, I would assume they would not be reaching out to me. They have no issue reaching out to me.
Do you think people can be born gay?
No, I don't. And there's no conclusive evidence to that point.
Wow, you know, a lot of gay people say they were born that way. They said that, you're saying
a lot of murderers say they were born murderers. A lot of pedophiles say they were born pedophiles. So if we're going to say there's a gay gene, we're going to have to open up the conversation and say that this is a pedophile gene, which means if I molest children, I shouldn't go to jail because after all, it was in my DNA.
To pay attention to the clear difference in man that King Randall is at such a young age versus Dr. Umar. The rhetoric, the morals, the ideologies, delivery, yet this is what people choose to support.
Let's get into the realness. We got a lot of moms also that have fathers that do want to be dads, but they are so vindictive and bitter with the dad that they'd rather their son fail than have the father in the child's life.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I've had conversations with moms. I'm like, where the daddy at? I'll make contact with the dad. Dad say, I live in North Carolina or I live in this city, but she never wanted me. They'd have moved on, got kids of their own with their new wife or whatever like that. She never want me to see him. I'm like, mama, send that boy to go stay with his daddy. He don't need the extra boys program. He needs his dad. Send him with his father. What are you doing besides sitting up here complaining about you doing it by yourself? It's like moms have this new thing now where they proud. It's like they have to say, I'm doing it all by myself and I'm trying and I love my child and putting them on Facebook and pretending you was a parent at graduation and they turned out to be some terrible person because you was too proud to keep their father in their life. I've run into that so many times. Just send the child to stay with his father. You don't need him. You don't need to be trying to raise him by yourself. Send him with his dad because he needs his actual father. He don't need somebody trying to get to play father. He needs his real father. But because they are so bitter and the court system, which I hate, benefits mothers more than fathers who want to be dads. It hurts kids. It hurts children.
We have 25 students right now. We're operating after school. They operate 5 days a week. The program is still free. We pick them up from school every day. Not only we pick them up, we also feed them. Some of the kids only get meals at school, and we want to aid the school system. I know sometimes people have a lot to say about our school system, and even though they have their flaws, we could also be helping as well. It's many of us are fussing about, the kids can't read at the school system. Okay, well, can we back them up? I take the blame for that. I take the blame for our kids not knowing how to read. So if I take the blame, it makes me want to get up and actually do something myself versus complaining. You're going to get married, you're going to have a wife, you're going to have your own house, you're going to have to do stuff for yourself one day, you got to do stuff for your wife. And to be able to do that, you need an at-home toolkit. Everybody says sometimes people have bad days, but we don't catch no attitude. We as men keep our bearing. You understand that? You want to check off stuff on your list because we as husbands sometimes will forget things from the store and we go home and get fussed at by our wife. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
What's a screw? Okay, yeah, you got to screw it in, right? And what do we do with a nail?
Hammer it in.
We got to hammer it in. You understand? What is this called?
Phillips head.
What is this called?
Phillips head.
All right, and what's the other one called?
Flathead.
You take this freaking pad out right here. You see it?
Yes, sir.
See the pad?
Yes, sir.
Now, like I'm telling you, these don't need change. You understand?
Yes, sir.
These are fine. See how thick that is right there?
Yes, sir.
If it needed to be changed, it would be way lower. Like it would be way close down. So you got a lot of thickness right there. That's how much thickness you got right there. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Utilize social media to be able to raise money, and we started doing that, and we went project by project. We failed, we succeeded, etc. But I've always continued sharing what it is that we're doing. So I know a lot of people always ask why they won't see us on the Breakfast Club or etc. I'm not a comedian. I don't critique people's dating life. I don't talk about what people should be doing. I don't belittle my donors. We don't do any of those things. We just share what we got going on. If we don't raise enough money, we pivot.
Videos have we seen of Dr. Umar engaging with children, helping the community, and doing anything else of the sort? I'll wait. I haven't seen one video like that. Just saying. Also, in regards to him scamming King Randall, there's a lot that goes into that.
Umar has scammed King Randall, and King Randall is actually helping black boys. If you guys really think about this, Umar is willing to take money from King Randall, and I'm going to break it all down. And that money was supposed to be for Umar to come to the schools and help and teach, kind of like a collaboration effort with King Randall's students. Umar
he cancels the day before and won't send the money back. Well, in essence, Umar, what you've done is you've stolen the money. You've taken the money that was supposed to go towards these boys. They were trying to get you out there to help out and do your thing. But guess what? Umar doesn't work with boys. He never has. He doesn't work with black boys. He focuses on and targets the mothers of these boys so that he can sexually exploit them and financially exploit them. Now, I want everyone to understand something. I've been telling people this for a long time. I've been telling you all the same thing. He's a scammer. And there's still no school. A school is a place of learning, not some trap bandos up there in Wilmington, Delaware, that's sitting up there and got people, homeless people sleeping on the steps. That's not a school. I wonder how much King Randall's charging the parents of these black boys that he's helping. He's actually helping these black boys. Do we need to get to the receipts? Let's get to the receipts. Look at the young men there. The young men are dressed. They're dressed looking, I mean, professional. Look where my cursor is at. It says at New Emerging King is actually doing what Dr. Umar has been talking about doing for years. Okay, and then look up here. It says King Randall. This is what he says. He says, "Yep, tried to collaborate and bring him to my school to speak a few years ago. Paid him $2,500 along with purchasing the flights. He canceled day before and never gave us a refund. Charged it to the game and kept it moving." Because there were people, I'm sure, that was questioning King Randall, and King Randall says, "LOL, I ain't got time to be lying on nobody. Mind you, I used to defend this man with my whole chest," and he did. Thought it would be a great idea for him to come to my school and speak, as he has a school also. Now, King Randall, he doesn't have a school. Let's be clear about that. Let me break that down real quick before we go on. Umar doesn't have a school, King Randall. He tells people that he does. A school is a place of learning. You can look it up in the dictionary. It's a place of learning. And in this case, it should be a place of learning for children, right? But if you go up there to Wilmington, Delaware, I could give you the address. I ain't gonna do that. But if you go up there and you go up to these trap bandos up there, is it a place of learning? Are there children being taught? Are there black boys being taught? And the answer is no. Umar stated that the renovations were complete back in August of 2023. And now he's still talking about it. He's working on renovations. Why? Because he's a habitual liar. He tells people these types of things, including that I have a school. He doesn't have a school. He has abandoned buildings. But he says those things because it makes people give this illusion of progress, and it makes people want to send him more money. It's all about the money. But see, this brother already has stuff established, and it's not that he's using these young men to do work and they're paying him as loyal donors. He's actually teaching these young men how to do these types of things through these programs: oil change, brake pad replacement, alternator repair, tire changing, reading literacy. There's a weekly book club. Umar has never done any of this stuff. You can follow the X for boys. You can connect. Here's some pictures right here.
It's absolutely ridiculous to me that he's collected all of this money, and literally the money is God knows where, because he keeps saying he doesn't have enough money for this, that, and third. He's only waiting for this. He's been waiting for a certificate of occupancy for years. And it's like people keep falling for this. And I genuinely do not understand how. The man, by this point, okay, the man has a PhD. All right. There is no reason for him to not know that opening a school was going to take a lot of work. There's no reason for him to still be collecting funds if he thinks that he truly will not be able to open the school with the limited amount of funds that he's been getting. Okay. There's no reason why with a doctorate, he didn't think, you know what? Let's not go for a school. Let's do a community center. Now, if you guys are not aware, right, I went to Dr. Umar's school twice, 2023 and 2025. And both times there was no progress. I even contacted Wilmington, Delaware. I asked them like, hey, is there anything on file, for the school to open? They ain't got shit. Okay, which means there's nothing in the works. Ladies and gentlemen, stop telling me the school is open. No, it's not. No, it's not. It can't be, because again, like I said, I contacted Wilmington, Delaware. There's nothing on file for it to be open. And how is it going to open in the middle of the summer? The schools are about to close. Open where? Open how? Where are the employees? Where's the website? Like, I've talked about this at length. I'm not the only one. You guys need to stop being impressed by unboarded windows. That's the only real difference from what I saw in 2023. And then, what I saw recently. Like, I genuinely don't understand how people were getting impressed by, like, just regular reno. Reno does not dictate a school. Like King Randall said, he opened his school in his dining room. I need y'all to be critical thinkers. All that to say, there's actually a YMCA like right behind the school. Like, it's literally right there. So maybe a community center. I mean, I guess you could never have too many community centers. But I think he could have opened a daycare. He could have opened a tutor center. He could have just opened something. It could have been something that really, or a resource center. I think a resource center would have really helped. I really regret not taking footage of the surrounding neighborhood when I went both times, because it's not the best. Okay, it's not the best area. If you guys are not aware, Dr. Umar is planning to charge about like $500 tuition for this school. And like those people in that area more than likely are not going to be able to afford it. It comes to a point, when are we actually going to open our eyes and understand that the man is a liar, a scammer, a grifter, and everything in between? But most importantly, when are we going to shine light on those that actually are doing the work? It's just like when people say, well, all rap music is bad and all of it is ghetto and talks about murder and da-da-da. Meanwhile, there's plenty of conscious rappers. There's plenty of just rappers that are just doing very well that aren't talking about toxic, negative shit, and they do not get the light of day that a lot of these violent, disgusting rappers get. So much caca is pushed to us on a consistent basis that I am wholeheartedly sure at this point that it's done by design and it's done on purpose. The fact that Dr. Umar has so many different accusations thrown at him, okay, that have came at him for the past like 15 plus years, and he's still on Breakfast Club. He's still doing interviews. He's still doing this down the third. Is crazy because none of the information out there about Dr. Umar is hard to find. From the interviews to the free information that you can go request yourself, to the controversies, the situation with his daughter and him being a deadbeat, like the list goes on and on. Everything is easily found, but I feel like a lot of people just don't want to believe it. I'm starting to believe a lot of it is a lot of people do not want to accept that they may have been scammed, that they won't get their money back, and there more than likely will never be a school. Because again, there are so many people out there that have built schools with limited funds. There's so many people out there that have independent schools, okay, that have a specific niche or whatever, and they're doing so well with their schools. So it just makes me wonder, like, why is it that these people don't get, as somebody like Dr. Umar, who honestly has loads of controversy behind him, but these people are actually doing the work and you can see it, and these people are not getting the support that they want and they need. We also need to have a discussion about the United States education crisis. I'm going to be doing a full-blown video on that because that's a whole nother story in itself, and it's extremely heartbreaking to see that a lot of these kids don't have any school options, okay? Like, the public schools are garbage, the charter schools are garbage, the private schools are garbage or just too expensive, the Montessori schools are expensive. Like, either, you know, the options are either very slim to none or just unattainable for them, and they don't deserve that. That's why a majority of these kids cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot tell time, they cannot do anything. And it's crazy because a lot of us have been talking about this for years, right? And now it's gone to a point where, like, at this point we're borderline, if not already, in an educational crisis, because these kids really cannot fend for themselves in the real world. They're going to be up for a rude awakening when the time comes. And I know a lot of you guys watching this are probably thinking, well, a lot of it does have to do with the parents. It does. But for right now, we're talking about the institutions, okay? Keep my topics on topic instead of trying to blame other people and try to, oh, well, this and this and this. At the end of the day, we're talking about the schools, and the schools have dropped the ball. That's why a lot of these scammers are able to scam you with, hey, give me money for me to open a school, and never fucking open a school. Okay, give me money to do this for the kids. Give me money to do this for the community, and they're not doing anything because the options don't exist. And people would much rather invest in a dream than invest in something tangible. I'm starting to believe that a lot of people are addicted to chaos, okay? They like the drama. They like that, you know, he just be spewing shit and he's funny, so they support him. But I need you guys to understand that the more that we support people like this, especially when the information is right there in front of us, the more it's going to be detrimental to our communities. Stop this whole bullshit of, well, at least he's trying, at least he's doing something. He's done nothing. Okay, like, there's nothing to show. All he did was buy an abandoned building and slap some paint on it. Okay, there is nothing in the works for that school to open. So I personally don't get it. I can never get with it. And I don't like the fact that with all the information that has been shared, there's so many people out there that can use the funds and haven't gotten it. All this to say, make sure you guys check out King Randall and donate to his school, donate to the vision. I absolutely love what he's doing. But most importantly, check out the independent and private schools that were more than likely started by someone in your community that may be of need of your service, whether it's money, volunteering, or just sharing it on social media, because these people do deserve the attention that they will otherwise never get. With that being said, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you guys check out all my links, especially my Instagram, where I post content like every day, at least. I also have multiple channels. Make sure you guys check that out. For those of you guys who like to comment and be like, hey, I miss your Haitian content, we have a separate channel. Please don't piss me off. I've been talking about this for years at this point. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, we also have a personal channel. That's where my story times, my vlogs, etc. are. But yeah, I love you guys so very much. I can't wait to see. Technically, you guys are seeing me. I don't know why for years I've been saying I can't wait to see you in the next upload. Mpa wenu. Like, you see me. So, see you. I'm just going to keep saying see you. See you in the next video, and I'm going to see y'all next time. Why does this feel so weird? Bye!